Yeah, I don't really know where to start. Talking wise, it's kind of an awkward thing. You know, I kind of wrote that whole description out thinking there's gonna be a lot more I could easily spill out and talk about, but man, it's tough. It's tough to find words and to talk about things. I know, weird, crazy concept. It's hard to talk about things, to open up. It's not even so much as it is opening up as much as it is, how do I say this, just talking. I don't know. Expressing things I'm speaking out to a void. I'm not really worried about talking to anyone or having an actual conversation. I'm just here, and I'm not doing great. It feels a bit stupid to just say out like that, but yeah, I don't feel too awesome. And I think the hard part is thinking about that and kind of going through it and kind of self-invalidating those feelings. If that makes sense. Sitting there and feeling like it's not just if I do not feel good. I'm in a pretty good spot in my life. I'm in college and I'm surrounded by a lot of different incredible professors and people and smart folk who I'm trying to learn as much as I possibly can from, but man, just overall, I'm not feeling great. You know, I sit there and I kind of feel like, I feel like I'm taking everything for granted sometimes. When I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, at the end of the day, I just got a deep sense of something is wrong in my life. Something's wrong with me, or I just can't. I can't figure out how to really describe it too terribly well. You know, I feel like something's wrong with me on a core level that I don't really know how to convey or vocalize in a way. I feel like I just keep screwing things up and I don't know what it is. You know, I don't know exactly how to kind of put my finger on it, but it's like something's just kind of wrong with me, and I can't. I can't just be happy or accept things as they are, or really just sit there and take things at face value and be like, yeah, you know what, things can be alright. Things are alright. You know, I feel like there's just something wrong with me in the sense that I can't do that. I can't I can't just accept things as they are. I can't just accept things are okay. And I feel like I'm either a burden of some sort or of causing issues, or I'm burdening others with the feelings of, hey, you know, things are good, conversations are good, talking to folks and relationships are, you know, on a surface level they're alright, but I feel so violently disconnected from so many things these days. Now it's hard to figure out what it is at the end of the day, but there's just this deep feeling of a great disconnect from folk. I don't really know how to cope with that in a way. I don't feel like I should be disconnected. I don't feel like I particularly am in a lot of ways, but then I just start thinking about it, and I just start, talking myself through it and working myself through it. I'm like, man, I just don't. I don't interact. I don't have conversations so much as I just kind of. I sit there and I accept, or I listen, or I struggle to find the words and the ways that I need to express myself to feel as though I'm actually heard, so much as I make sure I fulfill what's wanted from the other person conversationally. And I don't know, just talking into a vacuum like this is an interesting thing that I don't really know how to fully accept or handle. It's an interesting feeling of I can't tell if I'm doing something wrong and I'm not the person that I've wanted to become in my life, or I don't like being around people. I know it's stupid. Everyone's antisocial these days. It's because of COVID. It's because of social media. It's because of this, that, and the other thing. I think it's a lot more complicated than that. I think we've got too many things in our lives dragging us away from each other, and as much as I desperately want to be around people, a while ago I wrote a whole essay about it. It was a speech. I mean, a speech is a better description of what I wrote of Henry David Thoreau. Was a huge kind of proponent. We talked about how he disliked society and how folks interact with each other and people are. And to some extent, I can agree. I can understand the pain and the frustrations and the feelings of discomfort and hate, of frustration, of pain, of confusion, and of a deep lack of real innate or intrinsic want to be around people. I mean, people can be just so fucking terrible. There's just so much stuff going on that's so divisive these days, and it's so hard to sit there and be told that it's going to be alright, or to be told that you shouldn't worry about it, or be told that, it's fine, things are fine, Not even in any specific sense, so much as it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know if the world is as okay as we want it to be right now. I don't know if at the end of the day we're all going to be A-okay. And I've for the longest time I was trying to have the more positive philosophy. I can't remember. I think it's not existentialism. It's like extreme. No, it's not extremism. That's the wrong term. It's not extremism or existentialism so much as it is, nothing matters, right? It's the fullness of nothing matters at all. However, the beauty in nothing mattering, or nothing having value, or nothing mattering, is the fact that it's a blank slate. What you choose to give worth now has worth. What you choose to love now has love, regardless of whether or not it had it in the first place. Which I find incredibly beautiful, but at the end of the day, oh my god, it's so hard to be anything but negative. It is so hard to be anything but pained. And to sit there and be able to have a conversation with somebody that doesn't feel like an interrogation upon belief. I find it so difficult to just sit there and talk to people. And not just talk, because I can spin a yarn about anything that I, over my life, have found interesting. Sit there and start talking about cars, and as you can see, we can play automation. But you sit there and You put me on to talking about something that I know about. I can sit there and I can talk to you all day about it, but I don't know, I just struggle to find a genuine connection with people. And a wholehearted feeling of somebody wanting to be around me so much as they fulfill the immediate dopamine want of being heard. And I think the scary thing about that is that's how I feel too. You know, I feel like that a lot. I feel pretty shitty sometimes when I go into a conversation. It's like, I don't know if I actually want to be talking to this person so much as I just want to be heard. You know? And then it leads to a very interesting moment of reflection of struggle and of pain and of questioning the quality and the want inherently for certain relationships. You know, and that isn't a fun experience. I don't like sitting there and questioning if somebody that I enjoy my time around is actually somebody I enjoy my time around. I don't like thinking that at the end of the day I'm merely fulfilling an inherent want to be heard, more so than I am enjoying hearing somebody and being heard by somebody, by that somebody specifically, you know? I kind of like that feeling. I feel like crap feeling that way. And I don't fully know how to not feel that way in a lot of instances. I don't fully know how to feel that disassociation and not think there's something wrong with me. You know, I want to sit there and talk to people, but it just doesn't feel like I can have a conversation with people. So much as I can talk at and be talked at. Which, you know, in certain cases is fine. I'm all for being there for somebody if they need to be heard. I'm all for listening for the sake of listening for somebody else's sake and well-being, but you know, it gets lonely being somebody that somebody else has and not having somebody. And I think, you know, the ultimate fear, at least for myself, that I've struggled with a lot throughout my life is folks having indifference or being indifferent to me. You know, I don't know if it was Walton or Hay, but there was the go to the rooftops and I sound my barbaric yawp. Or, I don't even think they said sounding of the barbaric yawp. But it's what was said and what I distinctly remember being a thing that partially resonated with me, and the feeling of the struggle to be heard and the want, the inherent need to be heard, to be listened to be sought after, to be wanted, to be appreciated for who we are. And I feel like one of the things I struggle with is I can't differentiate between my ability to provide for people, even if it's in little things, and my ability to be wanted by people. I don't know if any of this makes sense, but I a lot of the times feel as though I need to provide to be wanted. I don't feel as though I can be wanted inherently for who I am. Which is a thing I know is bad. That's the frustrating thing, you know, I know it's not how I should look at myself, and I know it's not how I should sit there and think about myself. You know, I know that's not it. That's not how I should be. That's not how I should think and treat myself. But it's how I consistently sit there and think about a lot of things. I think that I need to do something. I need to be something. I need to be somebody's something. I need to be something more than myself to be able to be wanted. I don't know how to really cope with that or change those feelings. You know, I don't know if there's really a way that I can sit there and easily address that. I want to, you know, I want to stop feeling as though I have to. In all of my relationships, I want to stop feeling like I have to be something more than what I am, or who I am. So people will listen to me, so people will talk to me, so people will want me. But man, is it hard, because it you know, feels like grabbing onto glass, you know. But you can't. You're scared of letting go because you're gonna have to treat the wound. You're gonna have to address that. You're gonna have to do something about that, you know. But if you don't hold a little tighter, then it's gonna start hurting. You're just gonna start thinking about it. You're gonna start thinking, man, this hurts. This isn't good. This isn't healthy. This hurts. I'm not happy holding this piece of glass. But then you try and let go just a little bit, and it starts to fall apart. You know, it shatters. You know, it's in bits. And so then you sit there and you think, man, I guess I just can't let go. It may hurt to hold them a little tighter. It may hurt to keep holding on, to let it bleed. But if I keep holding on, then I don't have to treat it. I don't have to get rid of it. And by this point, how much of me is on this glass? My blood, my soul, my sweat, my tears. What am I if I let go? You know, is it? It's completely nonsensical. It's not the way that anyone should really be looking at themselves and the negative situations, the bad situations, the bad feelings, you know, the things that need to be cut out of life. No, I don't think people should look at it like that, but it's so hard to do anything but just sit there and accept it, you know? It's so difficult to do anything but just accept that that's how it's gonna be. You know, it's hard to sit there and think of anything other than this being who I am, this being how I can cope with things, this being, you know, if I can hold on to this piece of glass, then I can survive anything, right? It hurts, but I'm stronger than it. That's not how it works. That's how it feels, you know, that's how it thinks, that's how it comes across. That's what we tell ourselves. You know, it can really be okay. And maybe this is okay. You know, in those moments in which it hurts a little bit less. When you squeeze just the right amount of pressure and it hurts a little bit less, you sit there and tell yourself, it's like, wow, you know, maybe this is alright. Maybe this pain, maybe this frustration, maybe this struggle is leading to an end goal. You know, is leading to a point where the glass just disappears. And I don't think that's true. I don't think it ever really is. I don't think that is how it goes. I don't think it ever really does get easier or better like that. I don't think it ever. I don't ever think holding onto that glass really makes it anything other than painful. Be that now or be that in the long run, I just think it's too hard to allow ourselves to do anything but struggle. And in that struggle, we find beauty, and we over-aggrandize it. We make it seem as though that's the goal. That's the struggle will always just have a reward to reap at the end. You know, there will always be a light at the end of the tunnel that you can enjoy, or it'll be worth it. You know, like it feels as though, if it's a lie, it depends on who you ask. But like, even though it hurts now, it's for something. There's something later. Right? Like, it feels like we tell ourselves that there's an end goal. There's a it'll be all right. You know, the pain is okay now. I mean, it's bad, but it's okay now. It's okay to be hurting now, because we'll be good later. We tell ourselves way too often that it's about, the pain we have now leads to the comfort we have tomorrow, or something like that. I don't think that's true. I think that's fundamentally flawed. And I think the scariest thing about a lot of these feelings of being disconnected, and a lot of these fears of commitment, connection, come from a feeling of either unworthiness or frustration towards myself. I really am just rambling. This makes no fucking sense. But I don't know. I feel like all too often we unfairly attribute pain and frustration to ourselves, as though that pain and frustration will always lead to a positive end goal of feeling better by the end of it. I don't really think that's true. I don't think that is really necessarily fair to ourselves. I don't think that is how the world works. I don't think that really is what happens. I don't really think that's how we should view ourselves. I don't think that is how we as folks, as people, do best. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just alone. When I don't feel like I should be, Like, I'm surrounded by people. I'm surrounded by people. I always have folks to talk to. At the end of the day, I can I always have somebody I can go and talk to. And yet, there's just such a feeling of disconnectedness. And, like, I can talk to so many people. I can have so many conversations, and it doesn't mean anything. Like, it's just it's so far removed from how I actually feel, or how I want to be talking to folks, or how I want to be heard. It feels so unfathomably disconnected. Like, no matter how much I try and express it, no matter how much I try and really get down to the potatoes of it, I just feel so much like I can't actually just talk to somebody. And I don't know how to... I don't know how to handle that. I don't know how to... I don't know how to sit there and... handle the concept and the idea that I'm so disconnected or removed or struggling to even find an ability to just talk to somebody, you know? I genuinely don't know what it is. I don't know where the pain and the frustration comes from. I don't know where the disconnect comes from. I don't know where the sitting laying in bed alone. Even when I have people I can talk to, even when I have folk I can talk to, I can still sit there and just struggle to do anything but just feeling possibly alone. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know. I don't know what it is. You know, it's a really interesting thing.